Welcome back everyone to another Kerbal Space Program video, and today's Kerbal Space Program video is going to be something a little bit different than what we usually do. We're going to be doing a trash cleanup mission. So, any orbit or any debris that's in orbit around Kerbin is going to get cleaned up. Not all of it, because that would take a lot of stuff. But the way that this craft works is right now I'm kind of constructing the mothership of it, and then there's going to be 4 little vessels that are docked to it so that we can always send up new ones, because what's going to happen is these little vessels are going to detach from the mothership once we're close to the debris that we want to deorbit, and then they're going to kind of attach to it with an advanced grabbing unit and deorbit it as normal. And in this video I didn't end up doing I only did one deorbit. I only deorbited one piece of space junk, just because I didn't want the video to drag on for too long. And then I docked it to the space station, the Kerbal 1 space station that we have, just because, I think it's better to keep it on the space station, so that way if we ever need to dock more of those little vehicles, or I don't know what you would call them, those little deorbiter things, if we need to dock more of them, we can just we can just find the space station. Yeah, not too much more to be said about this. If when I send up more of those little crafts, I'm gonna definitely use different engines, because the aerospike engines have 0 gimbal, or 0 thrust vectoring, and that's important because if you're not centered on the mass of an object you're deorbiting, it's kind of gonna spin out of control, which you'll actually see that did end up happening when I deorbited. But that's what I'll do when I send up more of them. And actually I'll probably send up more when we add new modules to the space station. But anyway, here we're just testing, the deployment of everything, and making sure that everything works and that we can control it. I do have some solar panels on there and some batteries to make sure we have sufficient power for the probe core, because this is a probe core. I don't know what you would call this. This has no crew on it, this mission. It's just probe cores. But now we're just continuing the construction of the craft. I'm gonna use, I used a skipper engine. I was gonna use a Rhino, but I felt like that would be a little bit overkill. And then in the beginning I thought the skipper was a little bit underkill, if that makes sense. But it ended up being okay. And we had a lot of delta V. I think we ended up having close to 2,300 meters per second of delta V, which is plenty. But it's gonna need to refuel at the space station for sure. Which is actually the main reason why I ended up going to the space station, was because it needed to refuel. And then at that point, I realized, I don't want this video to drag on for too long, and then I ended up not doing a second deorbiting. Here, I would just show you, because I did have hack gravity on for those quick tests, and I just wanted to show you that it was off, because all my videos are done in 100% gravity, 100% re-entry heating, everything like that. But launch happened a little while ago. Pretty standard ascent profile. Those SRBs did collide with that Mammoth engine, but after a quick visual inspection, nothing was wrong. And then after we do that, we can fire up the Rhino stage, and I ended up at the end pointing more vertically, because I wanted to raise our apoapsis, because I didn't want to run out of fuel. And then everything from here kind of was standard. I undocked that nose cone to reveal the docking port, so we can always use that. And then I just deployed those fairings, and you can see the payload inside, which is, as you've seen in the construction, those little deorbiting vessels. Now we're just executing the orbital burn, and then there goes the Rhino stage, and now we have the skipper stage. And I don't know if you can read in the staging section of everything, but I'm pretty sure we had 3,000 meters per second. But yeah, after we got into orbit right there, I went to the tracking station and toggled all of the debris, and you can see we had 98 pieces of debris, which is a lot. But yeah, by revealing the debris in the tracking station, now when we control the mothership, the cleanup mothership, if we go into the map view, we can see all of that debris as well, and then we can set one as target as I did, and then we can make a maneuver to start getting an encounter with it. Docking, fairly simple process. Once you get it down once, it's pretty easy. You have to find a target, then adjust your inclination, and then you kind of just play around with the maneuver node. It's kind of hard to explain how to dock, but there is an in-game tutorial which tells you, and that's how I learned in the beginning. But docking is one of those things where you just have to practice and learn how you like to do it. But yeah, there I did a little bit of a crossfade because I didn't really want to show you. I'm pretty sure I was spending a little bit of time, that means a lot of time, trying to figure out how to get the best approach. When you're doing docking, you don't really need to try and worry about getting 0.0 kilometer separations, because you're gonna end up adjusting it anyways, and that's only if you execute the burn perfectly, and that's insanely hard. Even there, I didn't execute it anywhere near where I wanted to, so I kind of pointed, retrograded, started doing it by eye, which worked out pretty well. And now, just time warping till we get closer to the target, and then we can start slowing down once we get within 15 kilometers. Yeah, this was actually kind of a last minute decision, because this week I couldn't come up with any ideas. I had 2 other ideas which weren't very good. I was gonna do a space plane thing that landed on the Mun, but that didn't really seem too interesting. And then, other ideas that were kind of not interesting. But then this was kind of something new to do, and I decided to test it out. Yeah, I'll probably do more missions like these in the future. Maybe I don't know. One day in the future, probably when I have more subscribers or something, so more people will watch. I could probably do a live stream or something where I do stuff like this that you could just kind of. I feel like this would be something better to do live. I don't know. Just thinking out loud here. But anyways, now we're getting closer to that debris, and we can just start slowing down towards it. I didn't want to be too close for this process, so I backed away. And then we can undock and set that as a target from this little craft. And the thrust to weight on this is a lot. I probably should have added a little bit of RCS on here, but nonetheless, the main problem was that it was hard to target the center of mass, because it was crooked when it docked, and then it's gonna end up spinning out of control, which you'll see in a minute. But what I ended up doing was I ended up transferring the fuel into that skipper engine, or to that fuel tank that the skipper engine is attached to, and then using the skipper engine to deorbit, since it wouldn't make the little craft spin as much out of control. And you'll see in a minute that is gonna happen. Yep, there we go. Now I got our periapsis down, and we can just time warp down to the atmosphere. And then once we start entering the atmosphere, I transferred that fuel back, I don't know why. And then I detached, because I didn't want that to burn up and then have it explode and then have it explode us. Because I did attach parachutes on there so that we could recover this vessel in theory. Well, not in theory, because I actually did. But you'll see we have one drogue chute and then one regular parachute. And it's just gonna touch down very, very gently. I'm time warping here in game as well, just because I didn't want to wait that long. But yeah, we ended up touching down at 5 meters per second, which is fine. And then I just burnt that last bit of fuel just for the fun of it. But yeah, that was the whole cleanup part of the mission. So if you came to see space junk being cleaned, I guess the video's over. But now I'm going to dock with the space station, because like I mentioned earlier, I was gonna dock with the space station, refuel this, and then do another piece of garbage, but I didn't want the video to drag on and it kind of end up being redundant, so I decided to stop the video there and kind of make it a little shorter. I'm pretty sure that the video would have gone like at least another 7 minutes if I were to do another piece of garbage. But, you know, that is if we did another piece of garbage. And now, just doing like the standard docking stuff, kind of time warping to that maneuver so that we can get a encounter with it. And there I was getting some screenshots of the craft, but I don't think that's going to end up being the thumbnail for this week's video. And then, here we're adjusting the maneuver node for the encounter, and I'm pretty sure I got it really low. I try to get them below 1 kilometer. Even if you don't do it very precisely, you'll still be able to see if it's, if it's close or not. But, time warping for real to the maneuver node this time, and then executing it to a little bit closer, and there we go. So now we're kind of heading towards the space station. Yes, okay, here we are, and I'm kind of just looking around for the space station now. For some reason, I'm pretty sure that if you have a craft, like if you right click on it while you're in the map screen, when you exit the map screen and you're near it, it should still be green, like have a target box around you. But for some reason, my game doesn't want to do that, which is kind of annoying when you're looking for the craft. And there I may or may have not pressed full throttle instead of cut the throttle, but we'll leave that to what you think happened. And then this was pretty standard docking. I did add RCS on here, but I didn't add any monopropellant, which I could probably do. I could probably attach the monopropellant. I just send up a monopropellant with a docking port and then dock it to that senior docking port at the top of the vessel. But it would probably be worth it. Next time we do something to the space station, I'll probably do that. And actually, talking about doing stuff on the space station, I was thinking of kind of doing, I don't know exactly how I would do it, but maybe a spinning ring using the Making History DLC. But I don't know. Anyways, here's the part where I was gonna kind of exit, or I was gonna kind of leave the space station, but then I was like, you know what, it's gonna drag the video too long, so I decided to just redock it. And almost hit those solar panels. I was freaking out, oh my gosh, don't hit the solar panels, please. But yeah, that's the video. I hope that you guys enjoyed. It was kind of a last minute thing, the last minute idea that I had. Well, not the video, but the idea of the video. It's kind of a last minute thing to do trash cleanup. But if you liked it, leave the video a like, and as always, if you like what I've been doing so far, hit the subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it. We're getting the views up. We're getting more and more viewers each video, which is great. But I'll see you in the next one. Bye.